Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Brent, and today we have a beautiful BMW E28 M5 for you. And we drove about an hour and 15 minutes away for this car because when the owner reached out to us, he told us that he had this and we couldn't pass up on the opportunity of detailing a car of this caliber. It's such a cool car. And you'll actually notice in the dust, his kids wrote some random stuff on the car, including dates, initials, messages. It was kind of cool. But of course, we never want to encourage any of you guys to do this if you see a dusty car or if your parents own one, because it will leave scratches in the paint. But it's their car, so obviously we can't tell them what to do with it. And here's a cool little poster we found in the trunk of the car with some interesting information about it. So feel free to pause the video and take a look at it if you want. And then the interior was just covered in mold, which most of the time when we do these barn finds, that seems to be a common factor with them. But I want to remind you guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, take a second and hit the subscribe button, because we did set a goal to try to reach 300,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I know it's a big goal, but we think we can do it. And of course, we can't do it without you. And lastly, I want to get into the question of the video. So take a second and answer in the comments below. What year do you guys think that this car is? I haven't asked that question in a while, but figured I'd bring it back and test your knowledge on these BMWs.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Okay guys, so when me and Brent finish our days of detailing and filming, which are extremely strenuous, we burn a lot of calories, we expend a lot of energy, we always finish by being extremely hungry, which is why we are super excited that today's sponsor for our video is EveryPlate. Having such a physical job, we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves. And unfortunately, after a long day of filming, the last thing I want to do is go to the grocery store and make a meal from scratch. And I'm not the best cook, or a cook at all for that matter. But with EveryPlate, they send you the full box of ingredients, fresh ingredients, sent right to your door, along with recipes that you can choose from that are easy to follow and can be made in under 30 minutes.
So I'm sure you guys have heard of meal kits before, but the difference with EveryPlate is that because it's only $1.99 per meal, it's much cheaper than other meal kits, and it's 50% cheaper than a meal made from grocery store ingredients. So you can save money, but you can also save time by not having to go grocery shopping. You could think of it this way: one full meal from EveryPlate is the same amount of money as a cup of coffee. After trying the meal they sent us, it's honestly a no-brainer. It was amazing. We're gonna definitely be ordering from them again.
So if you guys are interested, try EveryPlate for just is $199 per meal by going to everyplate.com and using code WDDetailing199. Thank you to Everyplate for this delicious meal and for sponsoring this video. And now back to the detail.
So after getting the car foamed down, we went around it with an extremely soft brush and cleaned up some of the emblems, the door handles, and places the wash mitts might miss. Moving on to the polishing, you guys can tell that this car had some pretty decent swirl marks and scratching, but when you see the outcome of the paint just from doing one step with the Rupes buffer, it's insane. I can't even explain it. You guys will see it looks like glass almost, so enjoy. Now moving on to the interior of the car, we went ahead and ozoned it first while we were on a lunch break, so I didn't actually get that on camera, but then we took out the seats so we could really get in there and deep clean the inside. If you guys are enjoying the video, please take a second and smash the like button. It really helps us out and it keeps us motivated to keep bringing you guys this content. Now, to give the mats some time to dry, since we weren't at our shop and couldn't hang them up on our hangers, we went ahead and did those first. And I should take a second to mention before we even get to the extracting, I know a lot of you guys like the clear extractor head, but unfortunately the one that we were using actually broke the day before we were going to film this video on a normal job. But don't worry, we did order another one, but I know you guys like to see that. I'm sorry for that. This video is still full of insanely satisfying extractions, so continue watching. I promise you'll still enjoy it. For the interior with the mold, we had to be really careful on this car because a lot of the parts are really hard to replace or find, and we didn't want to damage anything with a steamer. We did use the steamer where necessary, but when it comes to like the plastics and real leathers and stuff, you just have to be super careful. So we did use the steamer, but very sparingly and with a lot of caution. Comment below how much somebody would have to pay you to grab this moldy shift knob and do one pull in this car. And here's a cool little trick you can use if you're missing a lot of spots with brushes. You can pull out some Q-tips and they really help get into those tight areas. Now with the carpets all clean, the interior clean, it was time to put everything back together, put in the finishing touches, and don't forget that we have the owner's reaction after the end B-roll, so make sure to stay tuned for that too.
All right, so the owner Jay just finished up with his day at the office. In the meantime, he was showing me, while we were waiting for Brent to set up the camera, he was showing me his, what, 1972?
72.
BMW 2002.
TII.
Which is sweet, and it's such a cool car to match the M5 that you have in there. That was, it's the single owner, you bought that brand new?
Actually, I bought it from an orthodontist in Milwaukee.
Gotcha.
Sight unseen, and shipped it here. I was a little rogue in my younger days. So yeah, but no, he just a good guy. We ended up talking about dentistry for weeks till I bought the car, and finally just purchased it, and he shipped it over here, and I've had it. He was the first owner. I was the second owner. So,
gotcha. And you bought it in
98 maybe.
Okay, so it's been in the family for
been in a while.
Years now.
Yep.
Cool. And what was the story? How did it get left in there for as long as it did?
Just had kids and got married, had kids, and it just.
You still have your practice.
So I just got busy, and it just there it sat. And the years go, as you can see, the years go by, and before you know it, it's been 10, 12 years since it's been started up. And
yeah, like we were talking a moment ago, if you guys, I'm sure in the B-roll will see, there's actually dates where his daughter had written in the dust on his BMW.
My kids love both these cars actually. And my oldest son, who was getting older into cars, was just home from leave a few weeks ago and said, let's get the old black car running. And I'm like, ugh, that's pretty rough. And I came out and looked at it thinking, oh my God, it's got mold and it's got everything else. And that's why I just went on YouTube and somehow pulled your video up. And then I found out you were local, and I just reached out, and here we are. So it just meant to be.
And that is what we hope that anyone that has a cool classic car like that does. If anyone does have one of these vehicles, feel free to reach out to us. Brent will link our email somewhere on the bottom of the screen. But in the meantime, let's go take a look at it.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Wow. That's it. It's back. Wow, that polished up well, didn't it?
It cleaned up extremely well.
Wow. It's never looked that good, guys. I mean, it is nice. And that interior that was so gnarly. You didn't get rid of the wired phone.
I know, yeah. We figured in case you have, you need to make a house call or something.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's great. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah, unfortunately the mold might have left a couple little stains here eating through the leather, but
it's an old car.
Yeah, but I think it adds to it, and
exactly.
it cleaned up really well, inside and out. You know, they use quality leather, quality quality plastics, quality paint.
Unbelievable.
And the black just pops.
It does. Look at that. Wow, you guys worked some magic there, I'm gonna tell you. Holy smokes.
Well, like I said, the
You're
weather.
artists.
Yeah, the weather cooperated, the car cooperated, you cooperated.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jay knew the extent that we were going to be going on his car today. We didn't really give him a heads up.
That's all right.
So he kept saying, you guys are still working on it? You still working on it? Yeah, still working on it. But we thought we actually made really good time. So
Okay.
But yeah, so from here now on, it's going to the mechanic.
Oh yeah, we're getting it fired up now. It can't look this good
Yeah.
sitting in the garage. So it's time to get her fired up again.
Yeah. One thing I'll mention, just because I wanted to put it in the video, but I thought it was so funny how there's an individual button for every adjustment of the seat.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, up, down, moving forward, tilted
Yes.
up. There's what, 8 buttons, 10 buttons per seat. I just thought that was nuts. And actually, they all work except for maybe the headrest.
It's a beautiful car. I just, my first year of dental school was 1988 when this thing came out, and it must have been a professor or somebody on campus had one of these, and I was like,
Never
someday,
Yeah.
someday. And years go by, so I waited till what, 94? So maybe it was, or no, I'm sorry, 98, I think. So 10 years go by, so it wasn't the original cost, but
Right.
I said one day I'm going to have one of these, and my wife was totally cool about it, and said get it. And so I did, and I drove the heck out of this thing too for a while, and like I said, just life happens, and it just, things get away from you, and I just don't know why I ever stopped driving it, because it's just a beautiful car,
It really
stunning
is.
car. Just the lines, it's just so
Right.
classic,
I had half of mine because everything was working. I was like, man, what if it cranks? But I didn't know
This
the
weekend,
oils.
and I'm going to send you a video.
Yeah, please do.
I'm old. It may not be a very good video, but I'll
alright.
do the best I can. If I emptied the gas tank, got a new battery. I'm thinking check the oil and just put some fresh gas in it, and I'm gonna give it a turn and see what happens. It may fire right up.
I bet it does. I bet it
don't
does.
know.
Because everything else was good to go.
Yep.
But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. And thank you to Every Plate for sponsoring this video, guys. If you want to try Every Plate for just $1.99 per meal, go to everyplate.com and use our code WDDetailing199 to try some great food at a great price. We promise you will not be disappointed. So thank you to Every Plate, and thank you guys for watching.